Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Jenelle Kim, and this is The Experts. And I am so grateful and so excited to dive in to this. Look at these beautiful. I just like staring at them, but I'm on a podcast and hosting nonetheless, so I need to pay attention. I am so grateful to be sitting here and to truly, in all seriousness, dive into just maybe one of the most important conversations, I believe, in life for all the reasons that we will dive into. And I have the beautiful Vida Delrahim sitting with me right now. We will, at another time, get to meet your incredible co-founder, Ronit Menashe.
Yep.
Also beautiful to say. I look forward to that. But today, I want to tell you a little bit more about Vida and Ronit and this incredible company that they started called WeNatal. Now, for those of you who don't know, I want to say this from the very beginning. I have been formulating, developing, manufacturing topical nutraceutical products. We were at the forefront of natural products before there was any such thing as clean beauty, clean wellness. And so why I want to start by saying that is that I have a whole different perspective and not even acknowledging the fact yet, well, I'm doing it right now, that I'm 9th generation doctor of Eastern medicine. And Eastern medicine has some serious insight, understanding, wisdom, knowledge in fertility and, reproductive health of both male and female, which is going to be part of our conversation. My point being, you all know that I do not just have companies on because I know the ins and the outs. And so for WeNatal to be here for all the reasons really, really, in my humble opinion, is significant. So without further ado, today's conversations centers around fertility, preconception health, and the growing understanding that preparing for pregnancy begins long before someone is trying to conceive. I say that with a lot of intention. Our guest today, as I said, is one of the co-founders of WeNatal, Vida, and her, I already mentioned, her beautiful co-foundee or co-founder is Ronit. They created one of the first prenatal supplement systems designed to support both women and men. That is key. Their work began after they experienced miscarriages just 1 week apart. And that's a really touching story that I'd love for you to share, if possible, Vida, which led them to question why the fertility conversation focuses almost entirely on women when male health plays such a critical role in conception. That is the truth. Working alongside functional medicine doctors, nutritionists, and fertility specialists, they developed a science-backed system designed to support both partners before pregnancy even begins. Their approach explores how nutrition, lifestyle, and daily habits influence fertility and even the long-term health of future generations through epigenetics. Today, we'll be speaking, I already said, with Vida about the evolving fertility conversation, what many couples misunderstand about preconception health, and how both partners can take a more proactive role in preparing their bodies for pregnancy. Okay, where do we begin? My goodness, this is an incredibly important topic. I mean, we live in a time right now that I am certain everyone is aware, and if you aren't, you will absolutely be soon, that this very much is a conversation. Of course, reproduction, we're hearing so much more about women's hormones, health, all the things surrounding this, which is, I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but in many ways, and many of you know me, that I will definitely be direct, but I don't make a lot of statements, is almost crazy to me that now we are talking about this in modern day, right? So our ancient medicines, which is where I come from, this is a part of an understanding like from the beginning, and that's the way it should be. So I love that you are looking at it that way, teaching our young women and our young men. We don't necessarily have to have the conversations when they're young, but as their loved ones, already preparing their bodies, teaching them good habits, and this is all part of it. So I feel very strongly about this, obviously. Before we dive in, I would like to know that much more about why you created this beautiful company, so intentional in every single way, down to truly the beauty of the packaging, which you can feel it, the intention, the purpose, the care, how you got started in all of this, Vida.
Thank you. That means
Please.
so much. And your love and passion of why this topic is so important will come out. I mean, I think really we're at a moment in time where Ronit and I met as best friends at Nike. We were in our young corporate careers.
I didn't even know that. I love
single
it.
ladies, hitting the LA dating scene, growing our corporate careers. And we always knew we might want to do something together, but never actually imagined what would happen out of the heartbreak of our pregnancy losses. And so how it begun was really around 9 years ago. I was running global events at Nike with impeccable precision, talking about thinking through every detail an athlete will have to do to get the best results. an ounce off their clothing, the right shoes, the right trainer, the meals, and, events to make athletes great. And what was ironic about that, at the same time, me and my husband were married for a few years, and we treated pregnancy like a casual jog. Literally no prep, no supplements, just we're young, we're healthy, we should just start trying.
Absolutely.
I went into a 14-week ultrasound. I had passed the first trimester, told all my friends and family I was pregnant, and I saw my OBGYN's face just drop. And the room went silent, and he delivered those words that no soon-to-be parent ever wants to hear.
I know, I have goosebumps.
And just literally looked at me and said, "I'm so sorry, there's no heartbeat."
Right.
The devastation that hit me at that moment, I didn't even know it was possible. He literally assured me, it's very common. They handed me a pamphlet and said, "Try again when you're ready."
Right.
And I was ushered back through this waiting room of glowing bellies and crying so much that my jaw ached.
Yes, of course.
And scrutinizing literally everything I did,
right,
from what I ate to the stress at work to maybe that Soul Cycle workout to maybe the shampoo I use is too toxic. And I could have picked any of those things and said it was that one, but I was never given a solid guidance.
Yes.
And, I did what most athletes do. You dig into the research. And luckily for me at that point, Ronit had left Nike to work for Dr. Mark Hyman, who's an amazing functional medicine practitioner. She encouraged me to look beyond my normal labs. Quote unquote, normal is not necessarily optimal.
Yes.
Found out I have Hashimoto's. Who would have known? I treated it with diet, lifestyle, and went on to have a healthy baby girl, Dolly. And I learned so much about prenatal care for myself, the prep. I went, I cleaned up my diet. I cleaned up the toxins in my home. And I thought the nightmare was over. Okay, I learned.
Right.
Fast forward to spring of 2020. I'm trying for my second child and went in for another routine checkup only to have that same deafening silence. And I was floored. So there I was.
Right.
Devastated, had a toddler at home, couldn't, and the thing that changed this time is Ronit called me a week later and she had a miscarriage.
Yes.
And there she was working for one of the best doctors. Her prenatal care was even more perfect than mine. So there we were, like two best friends, two losses, and zero satisfying answers. She was just told, "It's your age, you're old, keep trying." And at that point, she was 41. Thank God for her. She wasn't willing to just accept there's nothing we can do. And
we must advocate for ourselves.
100%. That's our biggest PSA, is that no matter what situation you're in, you're your biggest advocate.
Yes.
The research she went down uncovered all this research about men's health.
Right.
And men having this amazing ability to regenerate sperm every second of the day, and high-dose antioxidants could 4 to 5 times improve the likelihood of us having a healthy child.
Right.
And I remember the day she called me, I remember where I was, what I was doing, because it's so intuitive, but it stopped me dead in my tracks. I literally had chills when she told me about the men's 50% of pregnancy health. And I literally, it's like the brain blowing up emoji. Yes. How has no one,
that's crazy.
I had 2 losses. My husband was in the room. How has no one even asked him a single question?
Right.
And there he was, eating, drinking, living his best life.
Right.
And I was scrutinizing every detail. And so that moment with the research stopped us in our tracks. We realized there is a huge world. We knew more and more friends and family are struggling with infertility, and the stats were getting staggeringly worse. When we incepted the brand, it was 1 in 8 couples are struggling with infertility. Now the World Health Organization is saying 1 in 6 in just a few short years. And so we realized there's a bigger global fertility crisis that we're dealing with, and we had to do something about it. And so we got to work as best friends on creating the first prenatal supplements for women and men.
Yes.
And encouraging equal biology, equal prep, treating it like a team sport.
Yes.
And really what we found is education over fear. There's a lot of fear mongering happening that we weren't a fan of. And we felt so much isolation. We want to bring community to this ever increasingly stressful world. And to be honest, we're all having kids later in life, and 40 is the new 20.
Absolutely.
We need to empower women and men with the things they can do versus just being told they're too old or it's too late, or to just go straight to ART or IVF. We love those technologies.
Of course.
But no matter what you do, and I know you're a big proponent of this, there's so much accountability you can take by doing the work.
Absolutely. And by the way, by taking care of, we're going to dive into all of the things, but even when going forward with many of the things you just mentioned, it's so important to take care of ourselves. Just because you're walking into these things. Okay, I don't want to take too much time.
No, and that literally stopped us in our track. We launched it. We're about to hit our 4-year birthday. And we've helped over 30,000 parents become families.
Yeah,
and
that is amazing.
We get every day in our inbox like an ultrasound picture or positive pregnancy test. And that's our why. I mean, arguably start of the most devastating moment in our lives has turned into our lives mission.
Course,
and that's why WeNatal was born. Exactly.
Yes, that's the pivot.
Exactly.
That is, yes, all things that I talk about, the Tao, the universe, yin and yang.
100%.
One of the reasons I'm even saying this right now is that by nature, right, as human beings, I will certainly won't go into all of this right now, but it's my favorite. Well, it's like literally everything is built on the Tao, the universe.
Agreed.
Doesn't matter, what religion, ethnicity, what we come from. It's just the universe. Why I'm taking a moment to talk about this is there is yin and yang. If you've ever seen that symbol, they look like fish. They're constantly changing, constantly balancing. By the way, man and woman fit into that. Feminine and masculine fit into that. And so the understanding that women by nature, feminine is yin, and by nature, male, masculine is yang. And in Eastern medicine, which is our 1,000-year-old, like going back 10,000 years, people, I cannot say this enough, 10,000 years, they started understanding the human condition and the human, how everything works, basically. And so yin and yang and that understanding. Within a woman, we have yin and yang. Within a man, we have yin and yang. Yep. But those two things literally coming together to create a child, to create a baby, to create a new life, it is incredibly important. And as you just said, I'm confirming equally important. Mm-hmm. Very, very much so. And we don't always think of it that way. And so we're not going to have like Eastern Medicine 101 right now.
I love
all of this. But yes, I mean, sperm, mobility, the quality of sperm, that all comes from what is understood in Eastern medicine as your essence. And it is a really beautiful understanding. I'm sure at this point you know about this.
Yeah, and
it's
what's
like literally life,
interesting,
vitality.
100%. And as more and more people come to us as like experts in fertility, and when they ask us like, what should we do? It actually goes back to your point,
of course it does.
Tens of thousands of years. It's the food you put in your body.
Food is the best medicine.
Food
I think
is the
I
best
posted that today.
Literally,
yes.
I think I saw it on your feed. But also like stress and sleep. It's eating well. It's literally what our ancestors were doing, nourishing our bodies, mind, body, soul, right?
Yes.
And making sure that we're also like in an ever-increasingly stressful world.
Yes.
And no matter, you could check all the boxes, but if you're really not nurturing your body, and if you're so negative or if you're so in your head, which I fully was at one point during my loss.
We're human.
We're human. But if you can't really connect everything, your body will just have that much of a harder time. And so we're so passionate, and all of the education you're putting in the world is making us healthier humans and more fertile. And that's another big education piece that some people just think, I just need to check the boxes because I want to have a kid. But like, we hear a lot about longevity and biohacking. All these things that you're doing for fertility are the same things we're asking you to do to live a long, healthy life. And so no matter what phase your audience is in, it's important to know these principles for just living a like vital, amazing life.
Yes. Oh my gosh, so much so. So much is going through my mind, but you say it so beautifully because it is such an important topic and something that I actually did want to acknowledge 100% the intention and the focus. I hope I'm not putting words in your mouth, so stop me if I am, of WeNatal and your incredible system of supplements. I love that for both male and female. Is with the ultimate focus of, creating a healthy reproduction systems functioning in both the man and the woman. However, I would like to just zoom out for a second and acknowledge what we just said, that all of these aspects, right? So we are healthy, functioning beings, which is the key here, right? Making sure that everything is nourished and functioning properly. I always say that is like the secret, that is the fountain of youth for beauty and wellness. You just really need those two things.
Exactly.
Right? Let's make it simple. But then how do we do that? But particularly reproduction. How can I even put this into words? When that is functioning at its optimum, right? That absolutely is an indication, leads to all the things: longevity, health, wellness, mentally, physically, spiritually, very much, because that is when we are nourished enough. Like for some reason, the word that keeps coming to mind is like filled enough of like chi and blood and health and vitality. That is when we are able to create a human life, equals having longevity and living in that way, right? So
100%.
It's hard to put into words and what I'm feeling.
No, I love that. Our mission was to help create healthy little humans. And what we realized is more and more people felt disempowered like us. We were dismissed in the system. We weren't told what we can do. And, I come from also parents who just believe, just eat healthy and eat the rainbow and eat Mediterranean. But the reality is our food is not what our grandparents were eating.
Yes,
and I know you know this.
Yep.
Our grandparents eating one orange is equivalent to us eating 8 oranges to get the same nutrients. And so if you realize no one, even if you're like literally your full-time job is to eat for fertility,
Right.
we can't get it alone from food. And that's why I even had to educate my own parents who just believe eating healthy was enough, that nowadays our food is traveling over 1,500 miles. The average American is eating 70% ultra-processed foods.
Right.
And so the supplementation is low-hanging fruit. It's like the insurance policy that I say, like, it is so important to build your nutrient reserves.
Yes.
And to your point, no matter what phase you're in, you're going to start having more mental focus, better energy, hair. You know, beauty comes from inside to out. And so
And
the hair
in
growth,
particular, skin and hair is an extension of blood. I always love that in
100%.
Eastern medicine. So that's circulation. That's
Agreed.
abundance of. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, perfect.
That's
So
why
I
it's a
just say,
conversation.
like, it is important for all of us to be on high quality supplements.
Yes.
And our biggest, education piece is like, whether or not you take WeNatal, I want to educate you on what to look for in supplements.
Yes.
The supplement world is not regulated by the FDA.
Nope.
Anyone with an idea can put something out
I
there.
know this.
The number one thing I'd say to look for, make sure the supplements you're taking are third-party tested.
Absolutely.
And they really share the third party. We share the results. We're
Yes.
very transparent. There's companies that say they do it. And learn to turn back the label, just like we're learning to read ingredients on our food labels.
Right.
Some supplements have a whole paragraph of additives, fillers,
Yes.
binders, colors, like nothing that you want to be ingesting.
Yes.
And so you have to be back to being your own advocate.
Yes.
It's important for you to learn and take things that are high quality, the right ingredients, and the right dosages.
Absolutely. The synergy of ingredients. I have spoken about this for 20 plus years, probably for lifetimes, but I have, meaning you can have the best ingredients in the world, the understanding of them. I actually have never even said it this way, but when it comes to the quality of ingredients as well, just because, you hear this ingredient is just, the best, it's the most amazing. First of all, yes, let's backtrack. What quality is it? Furthermore,
Exactly.
in many different supplements and in topicals, how you're even, how can I say, like we talk about like preparing them, extracting them, all of those things matter so much, not to confuse us, but that is how much goes into creating a high quality synergistic formula. What I was saying before, this is very important, especially in the conversation of supplements. Many people have heard me before. Food is the best medicine.
Yes.
Absolutely. I create the things and I still say that, right?
Yeah.
However, when creating the I don't want to make it too complicated for everyone, we have to understand that, going back, let me go back there for a second, you can have the best ingredient in the world. But if it is not properly formulated, if they do not synergistically combine with the other ingredients within that formula, equals artificial colors, equals artificial fillers, all of these types of things that are not good for us, guess what? That ingredient probably is not working for you. And furthermore, can actually be doing harm. That's what people have to understand. And so what I was saying is I'm known to sometimes say that just taking all the supplements, and here I have you here, that's I'm making a point, I'm not always a huge proponent. Because how many times I see people like, oh, I went to so-and-so. That's all I'm going to say right now. And they show me this like half of the table, those who are just listening, you can't see. So like half a table filled with capsules and supplements and powders. And it just makes me cringe because, and what I say is, I'd like you to step back for a second and look at this. Does this look balanced to you? Like for real. We have to, for some people, everyone's different. Some people may have to have a lot more in their life, but it's understanding the quality of, putting that into our life, because then it comes to digestion and yours are properly made. What I actually would love to do, Vida, is, because oftentimes people don't know where to begin. They don't know anything about these supplements. Like I would like to actually go through what is beautifully placed here on the table. For those of you that do not know, you'll have to come and see it posted or on YouTube or all the places, because it really is a beautiful display. Go through each one. Let us know which ones are the most popular. Why? Because I know for a fact, I write these articles. I just did how to start like your first supplement stack with iHerb, which is a platform that's been around for forever.
I love
People
that.
need to know. So I'm going to stop. Now it's all you. Go.
Let's start with WeNatal for her and him. Those are our hero products that were the launch of WeNatal was why we started.
Right.
Everyone should be on a high quality multi/prenatal. And like I was mentioning to you before we started recording, it doesn't matter what phase you're in life. You need a high quality multi because of all those reasons I just mentioned.
Yes.
So find one with bioavailable ingredients. Means that no matter what, genetic mutations you have going on, which most of the population has some, you can absorb the ingredients. Find one that's third-party tested. Find one that doesn't have all the excipients. The other category, ours just has veggie capsule. There isn't a whole paragraph of others. And then look at the ingredients and the dosages. Some very popular prenatals have too low of dosages to make a difference.
Absolutely.
And they're selling you on all these additions, extra choline, extra vitamin D, extra folate. And the reality is, WeNatal for her has 24 bioavailable ingredients. We wouldn't leave out a single one because they're all clinically studied and proven for fertility, pregnancy, and postpartum. And so, again, do your research, because if they're selling you a prenatal and then you have to buy 5 other things, to your point, can you be consistent? Like, the only good of prenatal or any vitamin for that matter is if it's easy, it fits in your life, and you're going to do it.
Yes, absolutely.
And when I was trying to do, what Ronit had us on, all these different medical looking jars, I had like 12 supplements a day. I couldn't down it. I was nursing like 1 or 2 per meal.
Yes.
And therefore I didn't take it.
Oh gosh, I can't even tell you. Like once again, it's difficult for me. That's
it's
the
hard.
truth, to take supplements.
Totally.
Even the prenatal, because I'm 13 years, my oldest, oh my gosh. So it's a lot different back then even. So I did eat very properly. Of course, I did supplement.
Yes.
At the time, there was one very well-known brand that I think everyone took because that was like the option. But yes, you would take it and it was not.
Yes.
I'm grateful, but I would have to take it before bed because it would make me not feel so good.
Yeah.
And I am like the best case study because I get nauseous on things, and I have very strong digestion. It's just supplements.
I love that.
And this
so,
I do not. That's the point.
The thing with prenatals and the WeNatal for her and WeNatal for him, it's crucial no matter what stage of your life you're in. It has all the clean ingredients, has all the things I mentioned. Right. And oh, by the way, important note, I didn't know about WeNatal for my first child. I thought once I had the baby, I stopped taking supplements. And actually what happened to me, which I don't want to happen to anyone in your audience, is that I became so depleted, I got a root canal. My toe broke when I ran into the couch, like signs of depletion.
After. Yes.
You're sleep deprived. The baby has literally diminished you of every nutrient. They call it the perfect parasite because the baby literally takes from you whatever it needs. And mom's left depleted. And dad, you're now sleep deprived too. You're taking care of another human and, hopefully your partner. And so stay on your prenatal.
Especially, I am going to make an additional comment here that particularly in our modern world, in our ancient cultures, they are much more aware. I don't know if that's disappearing. I hope it's not. In post-pregnancy, how you take care of yourself. I mean, it is vital. It is incredibly important. And even as busy as my schedule is, I don't love saying that word personally, don't mind when other people say it, but as packed, I am picking different words here, as my schedule is, all the things where I was running my businesses, I'm remembering when I had my first son, still I knew better. And I'm grateful because I was educated, right?
Yes.
Hence why we want to be out in the world sharing this with people. You are doing the same.
Yes.
I knew better that no matter what, Jenelle, you sit down, you can do all the things still.
Yes.
I ran everything from that chair, that Pottery Barn.
Amazing.
White chair when we were building our labs in Europe. I was like, didn't even sleep. I felt actually, I like brainwashed myself. I was like, actually, you never have to sleep. You can do all It's very funny, actually. I haven't shared that with many people publicly. There you go. But I knew better to eat properly.
Yes.
I knew better not to move around too much. I mean, all the things that you would not necessarily see me while eating properly, but staying a little bit more put, nourishing yourself, recovering.
It's so crucial.
Oh my gosh. I mean, that's a whole...
Postpartum, they say can last. There's articles that say 5 to 7 years.
Absolutely.
Like, it's not just like we had the baby and we're done.
And then you're nursing on top of this.
Exactly.
Or just running all the things. You already said it. Sleep deprived, balancing. Also, you have a new life that you have to make sure that you keep them,
100%.
going.
And no one taught me. But the nourishment, the taking care of yourself is so important.
Yes.
So stay on the prenatals. Find one that works for you, taking it with meals because it is potent and pure. And like you, I'm not a good capsule taker.
But I can take yours.
But I love that. And the potency and purity, have it with breakfast or lunch and get it down because it is the best insurance policy. And every ingredient, every dose has clinical research behind it. So if you want to geek out on our website, we will say why this much vitamin A, why this much choline.
Yes, I love
and the crucial ingredients that most supplements are leaving out are in WeNatal for her and him. And that's also, I think when we incepted the brand, we realized we needed to start a men's prenatal because no one was talking about men. And we're like, I actually think the world has enough women's prenatal. But then you pull back the covers and you realize there's not really. The right ones.
Yes.
There's expensive ones, hard to get, 12 plus capsules, or you're trying to nurse those, or the store-bought brands that are too low of ingredients, have that additive filler paragraph that I told you about. And accessible, but not the right forms or not anything. Honestly, it could do more harm than good.
Yes.
And that's where WeNatal came in. And so we reinvented fertility. We made fertility a team sport where the burden is not just on women, and we're really helping both partners level up. And by the way, outside of the supplement, we're packed with blogs, education, fertility guides, free guides. We want to share all the rich, robust information that we learn things all back to our ancient wisdom of like clean water in your home, clean air, opening windows, getting plants, all the yin and yang stuff that you speak about, clean beauty.
Yes.
This stuff, little micro changes make a big dent. And so it's not just about like throwing out your home and starting over.
No.
Every time you finish one thing, find a cleaner version. And nowadays, there are so many options.
Yes, that is the beautiful part. Because I know that when I began back in the day, all the things from skincare to nutritional products, supplements, it was, as a manufacturer, it was difficult.
Correct.
That's the truth. Like I knew my herbal ingredients. We would we still to this day, our family, like will drink the decoctions, you know, like the if anyone knows Eastern medicine, but now you have to put it in something that tastes good and looks pretty. And
totally.
That's not so easy.
No.
And it can get expensive.
Correct.
Especially back in the day.
Yes.
So.
And more so today, the cost of everything. And
this is the truth.
I do want to be sensitive to the fact that we kept it down to 3 capsules per day for each one and as low as we can get it with all the ingredients. And I think there's a perception that it might be costly, but really when you see what other brands are giving you and selling you 5 other items on top of it to get to WeNatal's formula, you realize it's actually buying these ingredients separately, you could be upwards of $100 to $200.
Yes, and it really does make a difference. I am a very practical human being. I understand. I get it. I see the perspective. We get it. But this is something that, yes, you just don't want to skimp on. It's like doing... I cannot believe I'm comparing it to this, but I just saw a friend saying this to me, like doing work on your face, right? Like you don't really want to skimp.
Yeah, 100%.
So it's one of the times that you just probably want to do it correctly.
I agree. And
also
I joke in LA, I go to Erewhon for lunch and the hot bar is like $50 for a little hot plate.
Yes.
Or my latte these days is $12 with a tip. And I'm like, okay, let's invest. This is your insurance policy for the lifelong health of your child and yourself. So a couple dollars a day it comes out to, like $1 or $2 a day.
And when you look at it, my favorite shopping math, it's the whole thing. Look at it on YouTube. I just promoted them. It's a very silly cartoon. I talk about it often, and it is a shopping. You would look at things like that. But in all seriousness, yes, what are you investing in?
Yes.
Literally your health, and furthermore, the health of the new human being that you're putting on this earth.
Agreed.
You know? And quite frankly, as a mom, I will spend money on my children any day where I would not even think about it on myself. That's just the way I am.
And I joke, like, you know, our kids' gymnastics class is like $50, $60 a class. And I like,
don't even
I cringe if like my Pilates is like $20 or $30. And, you know, it's just,
this is the truth.
This is the investment and we're choosing. And listen, a lot of us prep for our wedding day, prep for the baby shower, prep our nursery for 6 months, but we're like told we're too old and we quickly start trying.
Yes.
And I want to teach people that 3 months before you start trying is that golden window of opportunity.
And once again, we're repeating a lot of things because they're important. Can you imagine if you start doing this? I started really practicing these things, although they were a part of my life since I was, put on this earth. We all have a choice. I was not forced to do these things. That's not how I was raised. However, at 19, that's when I really started studying Eastern medicine, like books and understanding in a different way. And I couldn't be more grateful. Once again, I had a choice whether I chose to practice some of all of the medicine in that way. But, I'm always grateful. And I always do remember that because I was informed, and more, we are more informed now. And the decisions that we make as young as we possibly can start making them, that will make a huge difference in our life.
Agreed.
And there were a couple things that came to my mind, but one of them that I will speak on is another way of looking at the human body. You also talked about like natural, clean, why it's important. So I'll kind of sum it all up because it is important for people to just reflect on, at least, is that our bodies truly are miraculous. They really can handle so much. However, we must remember and like visualize. I'm visual when it comes to that. Even when we're sleeping, we're sitting here right now. Do you know what our bodies mentally, physically, spiritually are walking through every single moment? Like right now, I actually really appreciate taking those moments. That is being present. That is being aware, And so we all have a choice. Do it or don't do it for all the reasons. Make up all the reasons. Don't make up all the reasons. That's what it comes down to.
It's a choice.
Right? But we have to understand that because our bodies have to go through so much every single moment, even when we're sleeping, right? When we are able to be kind and thoughtful to our mind, body, spirit in such a way that we do start incorporating things that just make it easier for our body. When you are not having so many chemicals, so many artificial colors, so many preservatives, so many artificial fragrance, you name it, right? Yeah. Eating properly. What you are doing is making it that much easier for your body to function.
Exactly.
And if you look at it that way, then just make a choice. And if you don't, make that choice too. Yeah. But when things become, God forbid, but if they become, there are consequences to these things. And then when you get there, and that's the point I was just going to make, it can be very difficult, particularly in our modern world. right? That we want to fix something right away. And if we can't do it right away, we get very impatient and frustrated. Well, guess what? How long did it take you to put your body in that state of imbalance? And now you want it to be fixed in 2 months? Yeah, and that's even a long time. We have to think through these things.
I love that so much. And like for the my favorite analogy is one doctor told me, it's like, our bodies have evolved over like tens of thousands of years, but the last few decades, our environment has changed so rapidly. And it's like, would you download the iOS 3 on an iPhone 15? No, because the technology is outdated for the software, right? The software is outdated for the technology. And so it's the same. Our bodies are trying to quickly catch up to all the toxins, the plastics, the cell phones, the EMFs. Like there is so much change in the last few decades, and every little change that we can make to bring a huge difference, little calmness back to our, ancient worlds, it will benefit you in the long run. And that's why, to your point, taking a few months can actually, and we have countless examples. I'll share a really quick story.
Please.
Cassie's one of our customers. We just celebrated her for International Women's Day.
Yes.
She went through 14 rounds of assisted reproductive technologies, IVF, IUI. I mean, can you imagine what her and her husband went through, her body went through? And finally, her doctor said, as a last resort, maybe you should consider changing diet, nutrition. She found functional medicine. She cleaned up her diet, nutrition. She found WeNatal. Her and her husband went on it, went on to have a healthy child. 14 rounds. So our PSA is, why is that the last resort?
Yes.
Imagine
if
you really got you and your partner leveled up. And so sometimes it feels stressful. We feel like we're in our 40s and we're being told our eggs are old and we're being told all these things. But taking a few months, that golden window of opportunity, we call it trimester 0.
Yes.
It is crucial.
Yes.
And so to the rest of the products, all of us having kids later in life, we realize there's so many myths out there that our eggs are just aging with us. And while there's partially true that we're born with the most eggs we have, call it a couple million, by age 37, maybe we have 20,000, and we do lose eggs every month. That part of the myth is correct. What's not true is that if I'm 40, my eggs are 40 years old.
Yes.
They mature over those 100 days, and you have a huge ability to affect the quality, not the quantity.
Right.
So ladies, when you're told that, you need to freeze your eggs or anything you want to do, take those 3 months and prep, because the quality of that egg is your future child.
That's
and so I want
advice.
women, to prep for egg freezing. My friends are so mad. They're like, why didn't they tell me to do anything differently before I froze my eggs? And the same for pregnancy. So Egg Quality Plus is 5 targeted ingredients proven to help egg quality. And it's really proven to improve the mitochondria, which is the powerhouse of the cell.
Of course.
So it's CoQ10, NAC, alpha lipoic acid, PQQ, and ALC.
Yes.
Those are all in the bioavailable forms, and really that 3-month prep to improve egg quality. And so it's really what we took and what we realized, that more women should know that they have this amazing booster of ingredients. And because it hasn't been as researched on pregnancy as it has for fertility, we just made this little booster for a short time.
Love that.
For anyone trying to conceive. Maybe
later
in
just
life.
had like 5 people come into mind. Just
and I know you love this
better,
product.
but I do. For that reason, we keep it simple. Also, but effective.
And then my last 2 products, which are arguably some of my favorite, are for any stage of life.
This is what I wanted to say as well.
Yes, we all need to be on a good quality omega. Inflammation, we hear that buzzword a lot. It's in every one of our bodies, but what we can do to combat with a high quality omega-3 fatty acid. And so WeNatal has a clean omega. And for anyone who's ever had fish burps.
This is very important. Yes. A reason why many people do not take this.
And back to our point of the supplement world is not regulated. The gross fish burps are because your supplement is oxidized, meaning it's rancid, meaning it's not good for you.
Yes.
And so we have a very clean, mercury-free, third-party tested omega. And again, we created it because we didn't see it. It's not these big horse pills. They're cute, tiny capsules with a little bit of lemon oil, and it just makes the experience so pleasant.
Yes.
And omega-3, like I said, my parents are taking it. We're taking it. It's so important for everyone, every stage of life.
Yes, I love that. Really, really important. All of it, but yes, for every stage of life, these 2 in particular.
And then I'm not supposed to have favorite children, but the magnesium has been a game changer for my sleep. I have crazy sleep issues. And this is 4 forms of clean magnesium, no excipients for rest and digestion. My Oura Ring scores have never been better.
Yes.
I get deeper sleep, more REM sleep. And the reality is most of us are magnesium deficient.
Yes.
And so again, it's very clean, 4 forms, but I feel like everyone should be on a high quality magnesium, and it's
Absolutely.
a game changer.
That is one that I always tell people to be on.
Oh, and anyone in your audience
Or to be
who
taking.
we have a special offer for them.
Oh, please.
Just so you know, WeNatal/The Experts gets them a free magnesium with any order.
There you go.
So we just want to support you, your audience, and give you clean ingredients. And then there's 2 products we just launched because wellness has become increasingly stressful. So
yes.
we came out
It's
with
one of the reasons I'm doing all the things.
Yes.
Take that away, but that's another conversation.
Yeah, we came out with a protein powder most recently.
I love that.
20 grams of grass-fed whey and collagen and your full prenatal for her or him in 1 scoop.
No, amazing.
So it basically, if you have trouble swallowing pills, which I know we
Right.
talked about,
yes.
and every one of us needs to eat more protein and get the collagen for, all the things.
Right.
We put it all in 1 scoop to make it easier. So
I can't wait
that's
for
our
that. I
lineup.
do. I like the powders
And
at times, but
That's WeNatal. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say because it's not always easy for me to take all the pills and the capsules. So the powder, that's amazing. Wait, did you say that is out right now?
It
Why
is
that-
out.
Okay,
It just
okay.
came out, and it's
That's
in
why I was like,
her
wait a
and him
second.
form.
Okay.
It's not here. We didn't have it here today, but
Yes.
it is
okay, let everyone know
available.
this. Okay, good, because everyone else can either see or hear
Yes.
about the others. I mean, it is truly amazing, really important to incorporate this. It is consistency is key. This is not a joke. So, and yes, it helps us to balance all of the things. There's so many really important takeaways. And I really appreciate how much you really care about this topic. I mean, beyond words, it's hard to put into words, but there are so many people out there. Now, I do not know them because I have the luxury at my lab to work with people who I know truly, truly care.
Yes.
And I'm not going to sit here and name them. That's not what we do, but that is the truth. But there's a lot of people out there who do things just because it's a trend or, all the reasons. I'm not going to sit here. That's not really the energy I lean into, but let it be known.
Yes.
And so when companies are started by people who truly care, by those founders, and create the community and the education, and that is just, it's just really resonates, and we are all very, very grateful and appreciative. And the truth is, I wish we had all the time. So we have a bit more time. I would love to, because we are the experts.
Yes.
So not just in everything that you just talked about, but also, in building brands. We talk to a lot of people who are very, very well known in the industries. Tell me some of the things. Now I'm going to switch into business mode,
I love
right?
it. Let's do it.
So WeNatal, and you do it with your best friend. I love that. That's so special. What are some of the things? Some of the things you wish you would have known from the beginning?
Oof.
I know. You didn't know I was
so
going to
many
ask
good
you
ones.
this. So,
I love this.
perfect. Okay, go.
Well, first of all, I
Let's
also
do it.
want to address the packaging.
Oh,
Because
yes.
I remember it was the first thing you saw. And
'cause
actually,
I know.
both of us coming from Nike, we want to make sure also that supplements were like part of your lifestyle. Like brand was so important to us. And I had, to your point, I had a counter full of
Yes.
like
I know.
medical looking
I don't know, but
vitamin
so
bottles.
many people. I'm like, oh
and
my
I
God.
hide it and then I don't take it. And so the idea was to create a beautiful brand that's sustainable. It comes with glass jars. Every month you refill it. And to make something they're actually proud to leave out so you can stay consistent. Because your point, a supplement is only good if you're going to be consistent on it.
Yes.
And it's not like, the coffee I drink and I feel it right away. You have to, and it takes time to see it in your lab results, to see it, affect you in all the wellness ways. And so I just want to empower people to stick with it.
Yes.
Give it
It's
3
vital.
months.
It's necessary.
You will feel better. Your labs will increase. And we get customer service reviews daily who are like, the proof is in the labs and they see the difference. And so I just want to say it's an investment in your long-term health.
Right.
But the business stuff that honestly, so that became such a big part of the brand. It was just important to us to make it with intention. But that became something that when we launched, everyone was just posting photos when they got it. And it,
I love
it
that.
wasn't
Whatever
made for
resonates,
that.
just take it.
So one, being true to your intentions and the ripple effect will happen.
Of course.
The thing I wish I had trusted the most, and again, I still have trouble with this in year 4, is trusting my gut. I think there was so many examples in business where a vendor was not the right fit or a contractor didn't really get our brand or our mission.
Yes, this
and
happens.
sometimes you have a contractor, sometimes you've paid a lot of money, and so you stick with it.
Yes.
And it's an upward battle. It happened on our website. We interviewed tons of website agencies, went with one. Sadly, they weren't the right fit for us. They could be a great agency, but didn't understand our brand. And the whole thing was an uphill battle.
Which is so important. Oh my gosh, I didn't even know we were going to pivot, and I'm hosting the show. But it's so important. I'm so glad I pivoted. I'm having a moment here that, oh my gosh, that's so important. Let's just acknowledge that. It does not matter how many years you have been doing all of this. I
Yes.
hear from everyone
Yes.
that it is so difficult to find these things.
So hard.
And it is these vendors from
Yes.
website to designers to PR firms to,
Exactly.
I mean, you name it. And they are important.
Huge.
And if they have to understand you. They can be the best in the world. That's what I want to
Correct.
confirm. They can be the best in the world
Exactly.
for certain brands. But if they do not see your vision, when you really care, and it means that much to you, you got to exit.
100%. My gut should have told me to exit way quicker, but
It's
I was
hard.
new to business. I signed the contract.
Yes,
I
and it
invested
costs money.
a lot of money.
Okay, we like lean in. It's the
But
truth.
let me also tell you, we've paid for the website 3 times over because we had to redo everything they did. And so it was worth it. Now in hindsight, it would have been worth it to cut ship, even if you lost the money, and do it right. And
Yes.
so I'd also say, because you have to be an advocate for yourself in your health, in your business, don't silence your intuition. We're so busy, we don't give ourselves the time to pause. But the reality is we knew they were not the right fit from the first design review.
Yes.
And we treaded along and had to pay for it 3 times over. So if you can go inwards a little, you have the choice in business to hire vendors that you love working with, that get your vision.
Absolutely.
And if not, to your point, it could be amazing for your friend's brand, but not right for yours. And so leading in.
Very good advice. And then also your packaging. Talk about that for a second, because you did come from an area, an expertise, right, to help you understand. Not everyone always has that, which is amazing. But even in the way of course, it's sustainable in the ways, the beautiful, leaving it out, that matters to me.
Yes.
But also, these are really easy to travel with. I mean, that's one of the first things I see, because I travel all of the time.
Yes.
Nonstop.
It was made to make people's lives easier, sustainable. You know, when Ronit and I were pregnant, we were throwing away plastic pouches every day, which isn't really great for the babies we're bringing into this world.
Yes.
And so it was made with thoughtful design to be easy for every stage of life. And even, you know, we gift a lot of our consumers the travel vial in month 2, and just making it easy to take on the go. And
which I love that.
Be consistent. Our whole goal is to be consistent. We are publishing top blogs couple times a week with top experts around the world.
Right.
And so what we care most about is educating you, empowering you, the hot topics. Can I have coffee when I'm pregnant? Can I do Ozempic? And, you know, there's so many hot topics these days. And a lot of times there's misguided information, because fertility is this black box of misinformation where you don't know who to trust.
Right.
And so WeNatal wants to be that community that we wish we had, with trusted advisors like yourself to tell us how to go about it.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I appreciate that very much. And you are certainly an amazing duo going out into the world and sharing such important information on all levels. And I knew that. What great insight, too, on the business side of things. You and your best friend with this mission that is beyond deep in your heart, something you literally both experienced together.
Yes.
And thinking of all the things from what can actually be absorbed and consistent in our life, and then also giving great advice on, pivot if you don't like your website person.
Yeah. Oh, and I want to bring one other business learning. So we are bootstrapped. We did a small friends and family round with just our closest friends and family. But, a lot of our competitors might grow faster and might be, 40 to 50 million in VC money. And, as a competitive person, listen, we both came from Nike. We want to win. We want to be big. But you realize how sustainable growing in the long run is going to serve your mission so much better.
Yes, absolutely.
And it's not just about flashy meta ads, and it's not just about, launching a product every other day. We're very intentional with our products. And if it already exists on the marketplace, we're not going to make it just to make it.
Right.
Or to increase our cart value. You see brands every other day, you don't know where to look because
I
they
have a feeling pretty soon
I
think that's balancing a little bit, because people are seeing that. At least I hope so.
I hope.
And I'm part of that.
And our influencers are people like you, trusted experts, no pun intended, who really understand why the supplement facts are different than anything else, why the ingredients are different. And so we lean in with doctors, experts, any medical professional who has a voice, because we believe the genuineness of someone who gets the WeNatal difference is going to take us way further than just flashy ads.
Absolutely.
And so we've grown slower than some, but we're making a name for ourselves in the right way and an authentic way.
You absolutely are. And it's much appreciated. Oh, I loved our time together. I know people are going to appreciate this so much in so many ways, even just naming some of the supplements that you can start with. And if you really don't know where to begin, just go here and start with this, because you'll be, taken care of in all the ways. So please tell everyone where they can purchase WeNatal.
I love it. So WeNatal.com.
Mm-hmm.
We're also just launched on FullScript and Amazon if those
Beautiful.
are easier for you.
Yeah.
We have a robust blogs with all those hot topics that you could find on our website. On Instagram, we're at @we_natal. And you can email us anytime. Customer or not, we will answer any of your questions, care@wenatal.com. And another thing we did, again, it's beyond the supplements. There's two things to note. We have a beautiful journal for anyone who's trying to get pregnant, who just wants to infuse a bit more gratitude in their life, wants questions to do with their partner. And so we have a beautiful manifestation journal. We also give a nutrition consult to every subscriber. And so we want to empower you with the power of food and nutrition. We have a free guide that are 9 to 10 easy steps that you and your partner could do, things that we talked about, like the clean air, the clean water, plants, small micro changes that you should do before you start trying that beautiful time of prep. And we're full of resource and education. So no topic too big or too small. You can email us at care@wenatal.com or DM us on Instagram. We get back to everybody. If you want to get to me directly, you can ask for Vida, but I can't even tell you how important it is for us to empower people with the facts and education. And that's why we're here.
Well, I absolutely love that. You're not going anywhere. I see it because you truly care and truly are creating that community, and we are grateful.
Thank you.
So thank you, Vida. I can't wait for our future conversations and to have Ronit with us as well.
Yes.
And so, yeah, we're grateful. Thank you.
We'll be back.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you.